Who is this Charlie Kirk dude, man? Where did this all come from?
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. So right down the street from where we're recording here. And just the typical upbringing, overly involved in activities growing up: football, basketball, Eagle Scout, marching band, clarinet, saxophone, you name it.
Wow.
I remember one summer when I was a junior in high school, waking up at 5 a.m. and going from basketball to football to band practice to weightlifting, and just all the way down to summer league basketball to like 10 or 11 at night, and just doing that all over again and thinking nothing of it. It's like, this is just normal.
Yeah.
Little did I know that was really training me to do what I do now, because that was hard.
Yeah.
That was hard. But always a very hyperactive person, a lot of energy. And, I kind of look back to how I was in high school and grade school, and this is really important for any parents listening. If the kind of overlords to be were in charge of my upbringing as they are today, they would have diagnosed me with ADHD in a second.
Sure.
And I would not be the person I am today. And I don't have ADHD, but I just can't sit still. I'm always doing something. But the people that are always trying to, subscribe drugs and do all that in society, they would have said, "Oh, this kid's a problem. Put him on ADHD medication."
Settle
right?
his butt down.
Exactly. Instead, no. I was kind of the last part of a normal upbringing. No, I really believe that. I'm going to write a book about this. I think that the high school class of 2012, 2013 was probably the last class in American history where things were the way they almost should be. There still things were changing, but I look at my high school now, and they have genderless prom, and they have just all these crazy influences that we talk about culturally. And I don't want to make this too much about politics, but and no more homecoming king and queen. All these, just the deterioration of the pursuit of excellence. But the solution when I was in high school, where if you were a hyperactive kid, just go sign up for more activities, just go do more.
Yeah.
Now it's, well, you need a therapist, you need drugs. I look at this.
Then it was burn this energy up, man.
By the way, that was only 5 or 6 years ago. It wasn't decades ago.
I was like, how old are you right now?
No, but that's how quick things have changed in our culture negatively. Around 25 now.
25 years old. Turned 25 October 14th.
Yep. Yeah, 14th. That's
on
right.
my mom's birthday.
There you go. That's
what
good.
I know.
It was a good day in history.
Yes, it was.
But,
So when you think about that, right? I mean, that energy. Your mom and dad were good with it, right? They loved it probably. They fed it.
Yeah, they embraced
they fed it.
But that's where I'm afraid we're losing that in our culture today, where energy is looked as a negative thing. Like, you have to control people that have aspiration and want to do good things. And there's a whole political party dedicated to that. Again, we're not getting too much into politics, but I can't.
Yeah, we'll bounce into that a
prevent
little.
myself.
I'm afraid to bounce into that a little bit once in a while.
But in essence, when I was growing up, and I look at the students that are excelling now, my classmates that are excelling now, back when I was in school, it wasn't the kids that were getting the best grades. It was two things. It was the kids that had the best ethics and really were relentless in whatever they were doing, whether it be in sports, whether it be in the class. It was just a combination of really good ethics and being relentless.
You grew up with an older sister, right?
Younger sister.
A younger sister.
Yeah.
Okay. Was she like this too? Was she?
Not as much, but it's kind of, I think it's more, nature versus nurture type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm just biologically wired to be this way. So.
Your sister's a couple years younger than you?
Yeah, a couple years younger. Yeah.
And your mom and dad. I mean, I met your mom and dad a bunch of times, and I love them. They're really, really neat people. But they're your dad's an architect, right? Mom,
very successful architect. My mom is a mental health counselor.
Yep.
Here in the suburbs. Very supportive.
And I kind of asked them, like probably many people, what the heck did you do to this kid to get him to be like this? What happened there? And they're saying, we don't know where this happened. We weren't ready for this. They didn't know it was going to happen, right?
But at least to their credit, they let me do, kind of what I wanted to do. They never told me I had to sign up for all the sports and to do well in school. It was just kind of natural volition, But they held me to excellence and to standards. And if I wasn't living up to my own potential, they would tell me that, no matter what it was. Mm-hmm. But they would not overly involve themselves in any of those, any of the activities. But if I wasn't, the only thing they really cared about was in sports was I putting forth the maximum amount of effort.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, and that was what they would always. I mean, if I was just not hustling or not diving on the floor for loose balls or not not finishing tackles, that's when they would get mad.
Uh-huh.
Not if I missed shots or if I didn't perform, or they couldn't care less about that.
Yeah.
And obviously those are actually moral exercises. Little did I know
Absolutely.
back then that those are, and sports are one of the greatest ways to teach young people morals.